Yeah, Nancy Pelosi was in town over the weekend, and according to what I've read, there were maybe 1,000 people who showed up to protest. 1,000 people? That's a pretty good turnout for a Friday night. Members of the Tea Party Society, and she was here to promote her book, Know Your Power, A Message to America's Daughters, at the, and I love the name of this, the Progressive Forum Houston. The Progressive Forum Houston. This progressive thing, they're making no bones about it. If you know anything about the progressive movement, you know how dangerous it is. It is anti-American. It is socialist, or worse. It is everything that Woodrow Wilson tried to bring to this country. It's a real problem. And they're proud of it. They're proud of it. And Nancy Pelosi was there to speak and to promote her book. 281-558-5738. So we were wondering if you were there and what you saw and how it went. Marlita, you're on the Voice of Texas.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Yeah, I went down. I didn't make it to the Tea Party because there were just too many people down there and I couldn't park. But my daughter and I, she's 19, we went down. And I would say, I don't know if there were 1,000 people, but there were over 500, I'm sure. But, I didn't count that. But I did try to count the people that were walking into the Wortham Center. And there couldn't have been, 100 and some people that went.
Really?
It was nothing, unless there was places to go in underneath, where you couldn't see them.
Yeah.
But the signs were great. There were people with Pinocchio noses on and all that. It was fun. And, I would encourage conservatives and Christians to get out there, on July 3rd or 2nd or 3rd, whenever the Tea Party's going to be. And because once you get out there, there's a feeling in the air, and you're around people that, think and believe like you. And that really, did a lot to uplift my spirits because, I get so angry when I watch the news and I listen to you every day and Rush and Laura and Glenn and, we just need to protest just like Glenn says, be polite and be, be the loving people that we are. They try to make us out as hate mongers and we just aren't. And I tell you, I would encourage everybody to go out.
Well, it's critical right now.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, appreciate that. Thanks, Marlita. Absolutely critical. 836. Christina, you're on the Voice of Texas.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, I was at the rally also on Friday, and it was just, there are a lot of, the Houston Chronicle had an online article saying that there were 600 people there, so they at least reported it, and the news channels had a little bit of reporting of it, and it was really fun. The liberals had set up the rules for protest. You can kind of boo and yell, shame on you. So we legally kind of were allowed to yell, shame on you, to a bunch of liberal progressives, and it felt really good.
Very good.
It was just, and we chanted, Pelosi must resign, and things like that. And so it was just really, it felt really good to go do that.
Well, if the Chronicle gave credit for 600, there must have been 60,000.
By their math, that's right. Though Channel 11 said there were over 100 people there.
Over 100, okay.
I think they meant who attended it, because the last caller was right. There was hardly anybody walking through. And, we were just it was so much fun.
Glad to hear it. All right, thanks for being there, Christina. That's great. 836. 837, actually. That's how fast time flies when you're listening to Pat and Ed in the morning. I don't know anybody who would go to a Nancy Pelosi, and I know some Democrats, some people who are fairly liberal. The people I know who are Democrats are a little more reasonable than the Democrats we see every day on the news. But I don't know a single person who would be interested in going to the Nancy Pelosi forum. No way. I can't imagine it. Steve, you're on the Voice of Texas.
Hey, Pat, how's it going, man?
Good.
Hey, I went to the protest on Friday and took my 16-year-old daughter and her best friend, and trying to let Miss Pelosi know that I'll give my daughters the message that they need. Her book wasn't going to make it in our household. But
you don't think she could teach your kids better than you?
No.
Wow. Steve, that's insensitive.
Yeah, and I met people from Katy and Sugar Land and North Houston, and I came in from Baytown, and there were about 6 or 8 people from Baytown. And speaking of Baytown, Ted Poe, Dan Patrick, and Mattress Mac are going to be talking at our July 1st Tea Party, SanJacintoTeaParty.org. That was a blatant plug, but
that's all right. That's all right. SanJacintoTeaParty.org.
Yes.
So you have Dan committed.
Yes, Dan's committed.
Ted Poe?
Yes, he's committed.
And who else?
Mac.
Oh, and Mattress Mac. That's great. Yeah. Isn't that great that he'll do that despite all he's got going on in his life?
Yeah, I know.
An incredible guy. That's amazing.
He's a great guy. But
yeah, he is.
And yesterday we had a little impromptu Flag Day rally, and we had over in Baytown, and a Chronicle reporter came by and said that that was the only one that she was able to find in all of Harris County. So,
sad. Yeah. All right. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Steve. 281-558-5738, 839. Pat and Ed Show. It's Pat Gray on the Voice of Texas. Some of the sounds of the Nancy Pelosi visit downtown on Friday. No interviews, too.
We're not just the silent majority anymore. We're not going to put up with all this garbage. These people have taken over our government. They're taking over our country. They shouldn't be taking over private business. Private business works best when it's run by people who know how to run it. The government can't run anything.
I feel like it's my patriotic duty to stand up for the Constitution and what I believe in. And I just think that Ms. Pelosi, be that she may, is not what she appears to be, and I don't like the lies that she tells.
I'm from Cuba originally. I've been in the States since 1960. My father had a business there that he lost once Fidel Castro took over. So I see some very strange and frightening parallels to what happened in Cuba and the things that are happening now in the United States.
I'm a stay-at-home mom. I've never been politically active until this last election season. I don't feel like we have leadership on either side of the aisle. I don't feel like they are out for the people.
As you can see, my Pelosi sign, because she has been lying to the public.
It's not one person or two people. It's most Americans are concerned about what's going on with our country.
I think Mrs. Pelosi will see that there are people out here who just don't buy her lies hook, line, and sinker, and she'll know how we feel. I think other people who see that we're out here, who haven't been paying attention, might start to wonder what all this is about, and maybe they'll wake up, because it was a time when I was asleep too.
They're spending so much money. That's my daughter over there, that little blonde-headed cutie. Her entire future is gone. The third largest budget item right now in the government is the interest we're paying on our debt, and it's going to just keep getting worse the longer these guys are in power. So they need to be stopped. Nancy Pelosi is a disgrace to America. She is not an honest woman. She denigrates those who serve in the military and the CIA and who have protected our country.
Trying to draw attention to those things that people are either ignoring or that the media is ignoring.
Now, this woman is dressed as Wonder Woman. It's just interesting. It's an attractive-looking woman dressed up in a Wonder Woman outfit and talking to her reporter.
It's our government and them not being held accountable and trying to draw attention to those things that we are being deceived about and lied to.
Well, in Cuba, the government was confiscating private business basically for the good of the government. Here I see the U.S. government taking over companies like General Motors, Chrysler, dictating salaries for CEOs, and it's a very scary thought when the government takes such a large role in private enterprise.
That's for sure. Well, what a great crowd, and holding up some great signs. Palocchio, one of them said, Nancy Pelosi, the czar of lies. It's great. That's great. That was a great turnout Friday night outside the Wortham Center, where Nancy Pelosi showed up to promote her book, telling us, I guess, how to raise our daughters.